Good morning, students. Uh, Today I'm going to take classes on the topic of the cornea and conjunctiva. So, uh, uh, first let me go through the anatomy and physiology somewhat because you have already gone through the anatomy and physiology classes before, but little just of both of them before coming to the main pathology section. So, as you know, the you can I think it's audible to you all. Okay, so as you know, is the anterior the cornea is forms the outer coat of the cornea along with the sclera forms the outer coat of the eyeball, uh, and the cornea comprises of almost 1/6 of the outer coat. Now, uh, uh, you need to know that it is completely a transparent object. Okay. Now, there are various reasons and there are various ways by which the transparency of the cornea is maintained. I will discuss this later. But before that, which is most important, we require is that it comprises 45 diopters of the refractive system of our eyeball. The total refractive system of the eyeball that works is 60 diopter. Out of that, 45 diopter is uh, uh, comes due to from the cornea. Um, so for that, uh, the corneal diameters you need to know very well. The normal diameters. The vertical diameters is average to 11 millimeter, and the horizontal is 12. Okay. And why you do you need? Because there are various abnormalities of the cornea found. That's microcornea, megalocornea. Okay. So uh, if you can deduce them out of the by knowing the actual normal diameters. Now, other things that the radius of curvature and what all are in your book. I'm not wasting my time on those things. Okay. The main thing is that corneal transparency is is mainly maintained by some things. Okay, for that the anatomy is very important. The anatomy, what you see, comprises of 5 layers. Okay? That is the epithelium, first the epithelium, then there comes the Bowman's layer, then the stroma, and then the endothelium, the desmus, and then comes the endothelium. Now, uh, before that, before the desmus, there is another layer recently has come, that is the duos layer. Okay? But leave, what I intend to say is that since this the cornea forms a very important refractive unit. You must know the thing that helps it to be a so good refractive medium. Okay? Naturally, whatever the things uh, destroys the refractive media, naturally it will be clearer to you much. Now, uh, the refractive media uh, supposed to be transparent. So cornea is very transparent. For that, the anatomical structure of the cornea is very much important. Uh, this transparency is maintained first by the epithelium because it doesn't allow any substance to enter. Okay, it is to somewhat it doesn't allow for a substance to enter into the stroma, so uh, preventing its transparency. Second is that uh, the stromal layer. The stromal layer, the lamellar, uh, the collagen, the lamellar for corneal lamella. Okay, the collagen fibers uh, is distributed in a very fine way, known as in a parallel way, and also each one to 90-degree one of the another, like the Morris pattern. Okay, ah, this Morris pattern actually helps to maintain the transparency. Any alteration in the Morris pattern or corneal lamellar arrangement will hamper this transparency. Okay. Now, another thing is that the Bowman's layer. Bowman's B, always remember that Bowman's B is for bad layer. Why bad layer? Because this layer, if damaged, it never heals. Okay, it never heals. So this is why the Bowman's layer, which is in between the epithelial and the stromal, is regarded as bad because this damage causes corneal scarring and all. Okay, and it never heals. Now, the other layers which you find that the uh, desmate and corneal endothelium. Corneal endothelium is absolutely also required for maintaining the transparency, as nutrients also come from the aqueous humor of the from that aqueous humor of nitrogen dioxide. So in that case, the aqueous humor cannot percolate as and when it requires to percolate through active process of the endothelium. That active process is maintained by the pump system that is present in the endothelium. Okay, all this helps in the proper transparency maintenance of the cornea. Next, I've already discussed with you corneal physiology to somewhat extent. Okay. Now, something you require to know, the limbus. Okay, what is the limbus? It is nothing but the corneal scleral junction. What you require mainly to know is that from the slide itself you can see that the corneal epithelium continues with the conjunctival epithelium. Okay, the substantia propria, okay, that is the corneal stroma, continues with the sclera, okay, and the desmate membrane continues with the trabecular meshwork. Which part of the trabecule? That is the known as the Schwab's line, and the endothelium is the angle of the AC, that is the iris, anterior of the iris tissue. Okay, why it is important to know? Because whenever each layer is affected, means if corneal epithelium is affected or substantia propria is affected, subsequently there is a chance of affection of the sclera also. Like desmate membrane affection or endothelium affection of the cornea will directly affect the iris also and cause iritis. So it is important to know through which the connections. Okay. Now come to the keratitis. Okay, you will find in your book the keratitis is divided into a number of ways. For a very simplified way, if I am going to divide it to you and explain, the keratitis is divided into. Let's divide the keratitis into superficial, interstitial, and deep keratitis. Okay, and each of them into suppurative and non-suppurative. Okay. So, the superficial keratitis, okay, is known as corneal ulcer. Okay. Now, you must know, actually many times the examiners ask you what is corneal ulcer, give the definition. Is nothing, two things you need to know. Okay. That is, one is keratitis, one is ulceration. Keratitis means there is infiltration. Okay. And ulcer is there, with the infiltration there is discontinuity of the epithelium. Okay. Now, the suppurative superficial keratitis means there is infiltration along with there is discontinuity of epithelium, and various limitations, various limits of just limitation of the cornea epithelium with other portions of the cornea. Okay. The non-suppurative portion, that is, if there is no epithelial defect, but only the keratitis is there, only the infiltration is there, that is known as panas. Okay. That is called panas. Now, Interstitial keratitis, interstitial, when it is suppurative, it becomes the central axis, and when interstitial keratitis becomes uh, non-suppurative, it is termed as diffuse keratitis. This diffuse keratitis, you need to know this. What I told, the suppurative deep interstitial keratitis is named as central abscess, okay? And the non-suppurative one is termed as the diffuse keratitis, which commonly forms in some form of viral keratitis. This too you need to know, because you can apply steroids to non-suppurative ones. Is it clear? You can apply steroids to non-suppurative ones. I will come to you to details of that later. Okay. Next. Now, let's do one thing. So, I have already mentioned to you, see, suppurative superficial keratitis and all. Now, one thing you need to know is that what are the predisposing factors of this keratitis? Okay. First of all, the localized immunity should be low. Okay. The local immunity should be low. Uh, Next, the systemic immunity may be low. Okay. By either the patient is diabetic or under immunosuppressants or anything like that. Local system immunity may be low. How? By inflammations, like infections on the lacrimal sac or various conjunctival glands, or there may be trauma. So these are the predisposing factors. Okay. Even loss of corneal sensations, okay, malnutrition, these are all the predisposing factors of ulcer. Okay. Uh, so uh, now let me come individually to this ulcers. Uh, Now let me come individually to this ulcers. Okay. Now this superficial keratitis may be caused by either bacterial, fungal, viral, or acanthic. Okay. So this this corneal ulcers may be either caused by any of the bacterial, fungal, viral, or acanthic. Now, common bacteria which are involved in those is the gonorrhea, diphtheria, pneumococcus, staphylococcus, streptococcus. Okay. Fungus are there, both the filamentous and the cocci. The viral that are involved is mainly the herpes simplex viruses and zoster viruses. Okay. Atypical organisms, that is chlamydia, is also involved. Okay. Next, I will come to the details about the pathology of the corneal ulcers.